What if I told you that every single person you attract into your life, every relationship that falls apart, every opportunity that slips through your fingers, is actually a mirror reflecting something hidden deep within your unconscious mind? Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist, discovered something that will completely change how you see your reality. He called it self-selection, and once you understand this concept, you'll never look at your life the same way again. Stick around because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal how your unconscious mind is secretly orchestrating every major event in your life, and more importantly, how you can take control of this process to create the life you actually want. Hey everyone, before we dive deep into Jung's mind-bending insights, let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how certain types of people keep showing up in your life? Maybe you keep attracting the same kind of toxic relationships, or you consistently find yourself in similar challenging situations. Most people think this is just bad luck or coincidence. But Jung discovered something far more profound, something that puts you back in the driver's seat of your own destiny. Today we're exploring one of the most powerful concepts in psychology, self-selection. This isn't just theory, this is practical wisdom that can transform how you approach relationships, career choices, and life decisions. Section 1. What is self-selection? So what exactly did Jung mean by self-selection? Picture this. You walk into a room full of strangers. Without even realizing it, your unconscious mind is scanning everyone, making lightning-fast judgments based on energy, body language, and subtle cues that your conscious mind doesn't even register. Jung observed that we don't randomly bump into people or situations. Instead, our unconscious mind acts like a sophisticated radar system, drawing us towards certain experiences and people while repelling us from others. But here's where it gets really interesting and maybe a little uncomfortable. The people and situations you're attracted to aren't random. They're specifically chosen by your unconscious to help you work through unresolved psychological material. Think about your last 3 significant relationships. I bet if you really examine them, you'll find striking similarities in the core dynamics, the challenges you faced, maybe even the way they ended. This isn't about blame or shame. It's about recognition. Your unconscious mind is constantly trying to heal itself, to complete unfinished business, to integrate split-off parts of your personality. And it uses other people as mirrors to show you what you need to see. Section 2. The shadow and projection. Now, to really understand self-selection, we need to talk about Jung's concept of the shadow. The shadow is everything about yourself that you've rejected, denied, or pushed into the unconscious. Your dark qualities, your fears, your shameful impulses. Imagine your psyche as a house. The shadow is like the basement, it's part of your house, but you decided it's too ugly or scary to acknowledge, so you keep the door locked and pretend it doesn't exist. But here's the thing about psychological basements, they don't stay locked forever. And this is where self-selection becomes really powerful and potentially dangerous. Jung discovered that we unconsciously seek out people who carry the very shadow qualities we've rejected in ourselves. If you've rejected your anger, you'll be magnetically drawn to angry people. If you've disowned your vulnerability, you'll find yourself attracted to people who are wounded or needy. Let's say you pride yourself on being responsible and reliable. Your shadow might contain impulsiveness and recklessness. So you might find yourself repeatedly attracted to partners who are spontaneous and unpredictable. On the surface, you tell yourself you want to help them or that opposites attract, but unconsciously, you're trying to experience your own disowned wildness through them. This is projection in action. We literally project our unconscious content onto other people and then react to it as if it's completely outside ourselves. Section 3. The repetition compulsion. Jung noticed something that Freud also observed. We have a tendency to repeat patterns, especially painful ones. Jung called this the repetition compulsion, and it's directly connected to self-selection. It's like being stuck in a psychological time loop. You keep attracting the same types of relationships, the same career problems, the same family dynamics, generation after generation. But why would our unconscious mind keep drawing us into painful situations? Jung realized this isn't self-sabotage, it's an attempt at self-healing. Each repetition is your psyche's way of saying, let's try this again, but this time, maybe we can get it right. Think about your own patterns. Maybe you keep choosing emotionally unavailable partners because you're trying to finally win the love you never got from an emotionally unavailable parent. Or maybe you keep finding yourself in work situations where you're undervalued because you're trying to prove your worth in the way you never could as a child. The unconscious mind is incredibly loyal. It will keep presenting you with the same basic scenario until you consciously recognize the pattern and choose differently. Section 4. Breaking the pattern. So, how do you break free from unconscious self-selection? Jung's answer was radical for his time and remains powerful today: consciousness. First, you need to become aware of your patterns. Start paying attention to the types of people you're drawn to and the situations you repeatedly find yourself in. Look for the common threads. Here's a powerful exercise. Write down the names of the last 5 people who triggered strong emotional reactions in you, both positive and negative. Now, what qualities do they have in common? What parts of yourself might they have been reflecting back to you? Second, you need to reclaim your projections. When you find yourself having a strong reaction to someone, ask yourself, what is this person showing me about myself? This doesn't mean taking responsibility for their behavior, but rather taking responsibility for your reaction. Jung believed that individuation, the process of becoming your authentic self, requires integrating your shadow. This means acknowledging and accepting those rejected parts of yourself. When you can own your anger, your vulnerability, your selfishness, your neediness, when you can hold these qualities consciously rather than projecting them onto others, you become free to choose relationships and situations from a place of consciousness rather than compulsion. Section 5. The power of conscious choice. When you understand self-selection, you realize that you're not a victim of circumstances, you're an active participant in creating your reality. This is both terrifying and incredibly empowering. Imagine being able to walk into any situation and consciously choose how to respond rather than being driven by unconscious patterns. Imagine being able to recognize when you're projecting and choose to see people as they actually are rather than as carriers of your psychological material. This doesn't mean you'll never be triggered again or that you'll make perfect choices, but means you'll have choice. You'll be able to recognize when your unconscious is trying to recreate familiar patterns and consciously decide whether to participate or choose something different. People who master this concept report feeling like they're living their own life for the first time. They stop attracting the same problematic relationships and situations. They start making choices based on their authentic desires rather than unconscious compulsions. Jung's insight about self-selection reveals that we're far more powerful than we realize. We're not just passive recipients of whatever life throws at us. We're active creators, drawing experiences and people into our lives based on our psychological needs and patterns. The question isn't whether you're selecting your reality. You are. The question is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. I want to hear from you. What patterns have you noticed in your own life? What types of people or situations do you keep attracting? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation about breaking free from unconscious patterns. If this video helped you see your life from a new perspective, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into psychology and personal transformation. Ring the notification bell so you never miss content that could change your life. And remember, once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. Your journey toward conscious living starts now.